Hi,
Hi.
Digangana. Hi. How are
How are
you?
you? I'm
I'm good.
good.
Okay. So, Digangana, tell me something. How are you dealing with this quarantine? I keep seeing your Instagram. It's really nice to see you are having like lots of fun. You're cooking. You are getting chumpies from your mom. So, how is it going?
A lot. I'm like, I basically, so whenever I have to come online or have to be
Yeah.
like, say hi to anybody outside of my
Yeah.
house, I wash my hair, otherwise it's all oil stuck.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm kind of enjoying. I don't see. Initially, I was like, why, and it's a bad situation. So when I
Yeah.
heard it first, it is depressing. But eventually, after like 2-3 days, it just reached a point where I'm like, you have to deal with it. So
Yeah.
either you can, you know, not think about the negative side and try and use it, because if it starts building, because the biggest reason I'm suggesting that to people is none of us are stepping out of the house,
Yeah.
so you're not getting to see anything outside, and humanly that's a huge, that's like a huge line, that's a huge limitation. So I'm like trying to keep myself happy and entertained. That's it.
Okay. And you're also trying your hands on sketching. I saw your first sketch and it doesn't look like the first time you have tried.
Really? Really, you think
Yeah,
so?
it's actually good.
So actually, my papa had gotten canvas and stuff, so he's like, I'm gonna do something about it. So I stole one from him. I said, let me. So he first suggested that you should take like a blank paper, make a rough sketch, because he was very sure that I'm not gonna make anything out of it. So I said, you doubt your daughter's skills like really badly. And then I saw this picture on
Okay.
my mom's phone, and I really liked it. I said, let me try. I was very patient, so I sketched everything. Then I decided what color to put where. Like, it took me some time, but
Yeah.
like, it was fun.
Okay. So all your fans are here. They are saying hi. So firstly, tell them hi, hello. They have been like saying hi since a long time.
Hi guys, how are you? I do see. Hi. Lots of hellos actually.
Okay. So a fan
Hey,
here, Shruti. Yeah.
हनी सिंह, मैं डरता था मोहब्बत से और मोहब्बत के अधूरे रह जाने से। ओहो, हमारी अधूरी कहानी से।
So a fan here, Shruti is asking, please talk about your upcoming projects.
So I'm very happy to say that I'm doing a Hindi film right now, which I'm shooting for. It hasn't been officially announced, and there's a reason to it, because we didn't want to disclose
Okay.
the story that the film is based on. It's kind of sensitive, so we want to come up with it when we're completely ready and all set, and that's going to be soon. We were supposed to finish the complete shoot by now, but this whole lockdown situation kind of just
Yeah.
messed things up. So yeah, everyone who's waiting for my Hindi project
Hindi
can look
project.
forward to that. And I'm doing a few films in South as well. So I was
South.
shooting for a Telugu film, yeah, right before this. And
Okay, that's great.
television, I don't know. I'm quite asked about what you're doing on television next, and
Yeah.
I don't know what to say, because daily soaps is just very it's a long commitment, that's all I can say.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that for the next couple of years this is what you want to do, because see,
Yeah.
it's not a
True.
good thing that your daily soap ends in a shorter span of time. We don't want that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not a success then. And then if you want it long running, that means you have to be set in here that it's completely fine if it goes on for like a 3-4 year thing, and it's an everyday commitment. Then it's very hard to spare yourself time out and do something else. So right now I'm just like trying to do everything that is shorter commitment.
And Digangana, what about web? The web space is doing so good right now,
That's
and
true.
it's just yeah. So, do you have any plans for the web as well?
Web, I actually think I might, because there were a few things that I was, you know, I almost logged and we were supposed to go on floor, but my dates crisscrossed. Because
Okay.
sometimes you've given you dates like in bits and pieces, and then someone has like an entire schedule in one go, then it's hard to squeeze things up because it's really last minute. But if I do get to play something on web, which I probably haven't been able to explore, something that I understand is, there are a few roles that will not appear on 70 mm.
Yeah.
Or even if they do, it's once in a blue moon, right? So
And
something like that, I'd like to for sure.
Okay. And you have also been a part of Big Boss, and you have been inside the house for so long. So, like, are you now used to, getting it's okay to be like sort of staying inside the house?
You know, honestly, I've always been this person who is not very. I mean, I'm not like I have to go out or I have to do things. I'm not a very outgoing person in general, also.
Okay.
So I'm at peace. It's completely fine. Um, Big Boss, yes, because it reminds me of so many other things. You know, like my parents are busy cleaning and cooking because the domestic helpers
Yeah.
can't be home. You know,
No.
so I think that definitely is something that I relate with because we've done that just way too much. But at the same time, I feel Big Boss was more consuming. But this
Yeah.
time, since we're home with family, it can be a bit more productive. So, and I think that's a
Okay.
huge difference.
Okay. And a lot of people were talking about your show Veera here in the comments, and now someone's asking for a reboot version of Veera, like a Veera Part 2. So what do you
Well,
have to say?
oh my god, you should write that to the channel and everyone. But yeah, see, Veera is one thing that I'm very sentimental about because I feel that that's something that's always going to be very in so many ways. Because I was 16 when the show started, and I have kind of grown up in the show because 16, 17 to 18 is that one space where you
Yeah.
evolve really quickly. Like there are changes very, 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 very soon. So that and my first title show, and at that kind of age with the people that I got to work with and everyone. So it's very intimate, very special. Plus a tale of brother and sister, and I don't have a brother in real life, so I've enjoyed that space. So anything in regards with Veera, if ever, I'd like to maybe I don't know what time and circumstances permit, but I definitely like to be involved in some way for sure. And I hope that happens.
Okay, that's great. And tell me something. Okay. And what are you binge watching currently? Because everyone's sort of like watching something right now.
I'm watching Ramayan.
Oh, that's great. Nice.
Yeah. So I'm watching. It's I because we've seen there are 2-3 reasons of me watching that. I'm really interested in historics and mythologies. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I like to know what happened and stuff like that. And the best ways to see it because it's a visual treat as well. B, since I've done television and I know what television looks like now in terms of shooting, in terms of technology, and Ramayana is a complicated subject because you have just so much else.
Yeah.
It's not like two people standing and chit chatting. It's not a simple
Yeah.
simple screenplay or a simple thing to shoot. So I wanted to know what was it back then. Like how was it? How did people connect? And I had heard so much about Ramayana that the train stopped and people were waiting for Ramayana to play. So I am enjoying it.
Okay. So a fan here, Mahesh Madhuraj, is asking your favorite character in Ramayana.
My favorite character in Ramayana, Hanumanji was huge. Like every time I'm like an excited child. I'm
I
like,
know.
yay! Yeah. I also have. So obviously, Sri Ram and Sri Lakshman and everyone, you have that bent because Ramayan is that Sita Maya.
Of course.
That is definitely one thing. But interestingly, I have grown tremendous amount of respect for Ravan and Meghnad, like his son,
Okay.
because I feel that just it takes in a lot of work to get that kind of energy and that kind of self-made structure. So I really appreciate that.
Okay, that's great. Also, Digangana, tell me something. So, you have worked in the South industry, you have worked in the Hindi industry as well. So, when we talk to actors who have worked in both the industries, they sort of say that, maybe South industry is somewhat more punctual and more hard working or something like that. Did you feel that difference too?
Yeah, honestly, I feel that we're punctual too. I mean, every set that I've been on, I've been expected to be ready on time. We do have differences in terms of priorities. Like sometimes for us, it gets more important that um, sometimes it's different people. Like I work with people who are like, we have to start at this time, we have to. So you have to be ready on set. It does not particularly come from the, you cannot generalize it to a point and say that it's about the industry. It really isn't. It's about the individual that you're choosing to work with. Sometimes it is a dominant producer, sometimes it's a dominant director, sometimes it's just everyone in the same space together. Because there are few directors who are like, okay, if you haven't gotten ready, if my look is not proper, if I'm not happy with your costume, I as a director choose to wait. And from the outside, it might look like that you're wasting 4 hours, you're wasting 5 hours, but you really cannot get into the headspace of the director and think from his perspective. So that's spectrum difference, and that's also there. Sometimes they do stop for reasons like, no, this is not working, so we're going to work it out. Sometimes it's art direction, like art department or other stuff. Sometimes it's lighting, sometimes it's other things. But I honestly do think that these industries are really well equipped. Like, there's no technical difference really. For example, I know what I feel like being on a Hindi film set. That's pretty much what I feel there, because the only difference that I find is the language. Story narrative is different because the cultural aspect is quite different. Like, we look at things differently, they look at things differently. But not really, not so much.
Okay.
And people all the more find it more functional because I feel they don't understand the language. So sometimes you don't understand if they're delayed.
Yeah. Okay. So Mahesh was asking your inspiration to do movies. Okay. So who inspires you basically?
I really, okay. That's like looking back into what I wanted and to where I So the moment Veera, I was very sure during Veera that after the show I wanted to do films right there. Like, I remember when Veera, I in fact had plans at that point. I knew what I was gonna do and stuff. And then Big Boss came in between, and then I put those plans aside and I said that, okay, let's do Big Boss. In fact, my mom was really convinced. She's like, why? That's not your space. You are not gonna be for the show. I said, no, it's okay. I'm gonna be a part of it the end because I get to turn 18 in the house. More importantly, people were going to know Digangana a little bit more than Veera. And that's something that I needed to break at that point professionally. I said, I know that wherever I step out, people say, Veera, oh, Veera, we see her, we this, that. But it had to become Digangana for me to find my own identity. And these are two really different things. That's one of the biggest reasons I did Big Boss. And of course, Salman sir and the whole vibe that I get to do. And I hadn't done non-fiction really before that. I mean, BCL is not considered because it's almost like a family affair, like everyone in the industry gets together. But not a show like that, for sure. And after that, I was like, Salman in fact said that, you should do films and I think you should lose weight. And I was like, I should lose weight. And the losing weight, I tell you. And then I had really long hair, if people remember. I used to wear a wig for Veera. So he said wigs don't work in the big screen because you can't flip-flop your hair. You know how I'm doing now. It's not possible. I said, yeah. So he's like, you should cut them really short, at least to a certain length. So all those things, I think the prep, initially I was like, yeah, I want to do films. But the gravity only increased after Big Boss, because then I was like, I'm putting in so much effort. I know I'm really leading towards it with the motive. And I realized that more when I started refusing television shows. So I remember counting an X number that these many shows I was offered, and I had to say no to them because I didn't want to do television at that point. It's a long commitment. Initially, I made up my mind, let's do a finite series. It's okay. But the finite series also go on for like 8-9 months. I'm like, that's not finite, bro. Finite has got to be like 3 months, not like 9 months. So stuff like that, when I did, and it was pain to refuse. Because I love television. I have tremendous amount of respect for television. See, I love watching these things myself on TV. It's something that I also find a source of entertainment. Like, if I'm home, I'd like to shuffle into my friends' show. Like, I like to see what they're doing. I like that space. So because I have that kind of affection, it got more difficult, but it did make me realize that, I'm sort of inspiring myself in a way that, listen, this is what you want. Because when you
Wonderful.
really want something, you have to keep wanting it.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, you started at a very young age when people are sort of, trying to understand what they want to do. You actually started your career. So, how has your journey overall been? And there are a lot of fans who are actually asking this question. Let's talk about your journey.
Wow. So I started at 7,
Yeah.
technically. Uh, and that was really not like, my parents always thought that I'm gonna quit very, very soon. Because
Okay.
I only needed a reason to not go to school, probably. That's what most people think. That, like,
Yeah.
okay, she wants to bunk school, we get it. We're gonna take you to 2 auditions, you're gonna do 1 ad, and then you're gonna say, I'm done with it, because the sleeping
Yeah.
hours are so ridiculous. And I, as a child, I've had a certain kind of lifestyle, that
Yeah.
I wake up at a certain amount of time, I have to sleep, I need to eat at this time, a certain schedule that was built.
Yeah.
So all of that shuffled, and I remember my first audition, and I was like, I want to, because I was fascinated with television. So I was like, I want to get into the box, and my father was like, you cannot get into the box.
Yeah.
You just can't go behind the box and be like, I'm here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, then how do you do it? He's like, it's a process. I'm like, okay, tell me the process. Then we went, and I was actually selected for the role, and I did first ad. And then I realized when my parents saw, which my father tells me now that he was very surprised of, I didn't need any kind of, I don't remember that myself, but I've been told that because my papa, often when you discuss all of that, I was like, how are you sure that I'm going to last after the first few projects? He's like, because you were just so comfortable with the camera. I was never told, beta, relax, bacha, relax, it's going to be fine. I was like, I know it all. Like, I'm just so cool.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
as a kid, I would not ever in my life accept that I'm a kid. So I'd be like, yeah, I'm a grown up. Like, you talk to me like you talk to a grown up. I'm very that kind of a child. I still remember in my memory. So then, shows after shows, we had to give applications in school because I wasn't a regular student.
Yeah.
I would go mostly for my exams, but my parents put a condition saying that you have to study irrespective of what you're doing.
Yeah.
We want you to be educated enough, and you can't find this as an escape route. Because what if 10 years down the line you don't want to do this?
Yeah.
You can't start. You cannot redraw the lines that you've missed out on. It's not about safety in life. It's also about where you want to be mentally. Because, for instance, you are suddenly 26 and you realize that, oh shit, I haven't studied enough, and now the job that I was doing is not something that I want to see myself do now on. What are you going to do? You can't go back to the degree that you've missed, right?
Yeah.
So we don't want, as parents, we think that you should not be there. So I made a commitment to them, and I said that no, irrespective of whatever I do, I'll make it a point that I study, and I make sure that the base, the roots, your grounds are in place. And they said, yeah, you never disrespect elder people, you never do this, you don't do this. I'm like, yeah, I take it all, I make it a point, I'll do this, I'll do that. And then they finally got convinced. And then I did shows after shows. Usually mom would be on set, so it was more like a happy ride. I remember when Veera happened, I had just given that one audition, and I was like, yeah, okay, I did it. And I was mostly busy in my 16th birthday party. So we were at Novotel, I remember. It was also my novel launch at that day.
Yeah.
So I was super kicked in. I was like super pumped up. I'm like, this is it, my 16th birthday, everyone's coming in, and it's my novel launch and this and that. So after that same night, when we went for the guarantee and stuff at the hotel, like bookings and how's the balloon arrangement going to be like and stuff, I got a call from the production saying that we want to meet you all. So I went with my parents, in fact, because we were all together. So they were like, yeah, she was like, he asked my mom, would you like to see your daughter as Veera? And she was like, yeah, that would be cool, because I watched the show, and she was following Veera before. So I'm like, yeah, that would be cool. Like, what kind of a question is that? He's like, okay, let's do the agreement. We signed the same day.
Oh, that's great.
So then, yeah. So luckily, I think I have been. See, I would not deny there have been projects that I did want to be a part of, and that just didn't happen for a lot of different reasons, and I don't completely blame myself for that. But I also understand in my journey, and what I'd like to suggest to other people is, you cannot decide everything. So don't try to do that. because some things just happen, you know, and sometimes you cannot see long term. Like I can see only where I can see until, like, there's a building right here and I don't know what's beyond that. I mean, I probably know, I have an idea, I can gauge, but when you tell me exactly what the color is, I might not know. So you should see just as far as you can, and rest will discover itself. So don't think about it too much. Just make sure what you really want and what you really don't want. So that's something that I've learned for sure.
Okay, that's great. Also, lastly, if you have any message for all your fans, because they have been like asking so many questions and I'm unable to ask them all. So, one message for everyone, and we all need positivity right now because of what's going on. So, whatever you want to say.
Uh, A, I think this whole period has taught me to be a lot more kind, a lot more grateful. That's also one of the biggest reasons I wrote a song that I did, and I generally don't share that, but I put it on Instagram because I was feeling too much of that and I felt the need of sharing it. I think that as you know, we've taken a lot of things for granted, but now it's taken a huge COVID-19 to teach us this lesson that there are other things in life, like your family, your profession, your friends, and probably your own feelings, that you must not take for granted. Make sure you're happy and healthy, because that is the most important thing. Everyone who has missed me, I need to tell you guys that I've missed you more, because as much as you enjoy to see me, I enjoy to be seen by you, because I, you know, that's like an intimate bond, and it's just so unconditional that there is nothing in this world that can replace that. And you will see me very, very soon in something that I am very excited about, and I just hope that entertains you, and I managed to entertain you for you.
Okay, thank you so
and
much.
I love you all. I see a lot of Indonesia messages. Hi everyone. I saw your film, I think Telugu or Tamil, I don't know. Thank you so much. So you have everyone from Bombay who's been watching. Okay, there are a lot of messages. I'm sorry. Couldn't get them all, but thank you. Hey, there's somebody watching Big Boss 9 now.
Yeah, someone said.
Yeah. God, I was sick most of the time. Anyway, thank you.
Okay, Digangana, thank you so much for coming live with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Had a great chat. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.
See you.